Hi, everybody. I am here with the third and final card, and it's gonna be, I didn't post this one live because I got a lot of different steps to it, and I wanted to make sure that I had a chance to go through them slowly for you and show you exactly what was going on. So I'm gonna turn my camera down so we can see what we got going on. All right, this card is going to be a slimline card. It is 8.5 tall and 7.5 wide. We're going to score it or fold it at the half mark, which is 3 3/4, I believe it is. I didn't show you the card. Here's the card that we're going to make. And this little guy here, this monkey, he was really a challenge for me. And I came up with the idea that with him doing the hula hoop, that he needed to wobble around and just look like he's, juggling the whole world. So I've got him set up on you can't really see him, the wobblers in there so that he jiggles around. And we've got a shaker card with the up at the top that he's juggling all that stuff around. So I'm going to put this over here and just give you an idea of what we got going on. So the front paper is the green card from the kit, this one. And basically, I just wanted to cut off a little bit from the bottom so that it was, the card is 8.5, so we want to cut just a little bit off the bottom to make it 8 1/4. And then the width should be 3 3/4. And then I took my bone folder because the crease from the card is to the center. And you're not really going to see it so much, but I just took my bone folder and I rubbed along that crease to try and uncrease it a little bit so that maybe it didn't show quite as much. I did that on both sides. And that erases that crease a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead. And I guess I should have went shorter than 3 3/4, right? Because that's how wide that is. So we needed it. I thought I did go down to 3. And it's not 3 3/4. Yes, that was where I cut it. We needed to go down to 3.5. Sorry, guys. 3.5. And I'm going to glue that on. Like so. Going on there straight. Okay, then I have a strip that's 1.5 inches wide by the 8.5 inches long. So it's going to be a little long. You're going to trim some off on the bottom. But I got a scrap piece of paper here. Then I took the big leaf. Well, no, he's not big. But the leaf from the kit. And I've got soft succulent, rich raspberry, and pear pizzazz ink. And I'm going to go along in the, I should start with the, clean this off a little bit. So I'm going to start with the rich raspberry, I guess. And then I'm just going to stamp some along the bottom or the edge of this piece of paper in every which way direction. Set that aside. I didn't bring my cleaner over here with me, so then I'm going to come through with the Pear Pizzazz and just kind of overlap the leaves. Wipe that off. And I'm going to finish up with some soft succulent. Like that. And I'm going to take my scissors and just rough cut around this strip. You don't have to get too around all the little points and stuff. Just rough cut around the shape of them. And this, we're going to make a border out of it. So and when I say rough, I mean rough, because I'm hurrying, sorry. Should have done this step ahead of time too. But hey, sometimes it's okay to keep you a little bit longer to chit chat at you. But you're not really there to chit chat back with me because I'm recording this one. But if you got any questions, pop them in the comments and I'll see what I can do to help you out with whatever it is you need to know. Whatever you're wondering about. All right. We cut that off and then we're just going to put that along the edge like this. And maybe we should have glued it on after the fact. I'm going to stick the corner right there, and then I'll come up here make a little nip. And then I'll get my handy dandy little trimmer out. Find where I made the nip right there. Cut that off. And then now I will glue this to the front. Feel free to use your snail, your liquid glue, whatever your favorite adhesive is. And glue your strip to the front. That. And so now there we've got a cute little border going on. And we're going to take one of our monkeys from the kit. And we'll build up on our monkey now. So what I've done, I did do some of this ahead for you. So I got my monkey. Then I made the same circles that we used last time. And they're kind of big for this. The card holds the weight, being a taller card. I went with the bigger one, but when I get all the elements inside, it doesn't, it's a little big, but I'm going with the big, and I'm going to show you what I did. So I cut a big circle I cut a window sheet the same size, and then I cut a frame by using this die and 2 sizes smaller to make the frame. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the frame on to the window sheet. Let that dry for a second. And we're going to build up the shaker part now. So now we're going to build up the shaker pieces. So what I've done, letting that shaker dry, I want to show you guys. I got some shrinky dink film. It's just clear, like plastic film. And what you can do is take this leaf and stamp it down a bunch of times on your piece of paper. Or I take that back, just once. This is my guide for my girls. I'm going to cut these up so that they can do 4 in a row, but you can stamp them down, and then, or I found a free image of this leaf online and I printed it out. Take your shrinky dink paper, and I've done a Finally Friday video coming up in a week or two on what the information that I found about doing these shrinky dinks. And I'm just going to show you guys the best way that I found to do it. So I've got a permanent Sharpie marker, and I'm just going to outline the leaf like so. I'm doing it fast, so when you do it, it would be much neater than this. And then where the white lines are, I drew with black. Like so. And then I filled in the dots with black. Like so. So I did a few of the leaves, and granted that's really ugly and yours will look better than that, but I did a few of those, and then I wanted to use the banana from the, I think it was called Lots of Pun from December, but I didn't have my stamps anymore. So for now, I just have to improvise until the girls come to do these, and they will bring me their banana stamp, and then we will do something like this with it that we can then trace. But for now, I have to use my banana from my waterfall card and trace that to give me my banana. So I'm just going to do this real quick, and there you go. So now you've traced your items, your leaves, your whatever you want the monkey to have in his little shaker card. You've traced all those. Now go ahead, and I didn't think to put this in the video, put like a putting a T on there to tell me that that's the top, because if you use your Stampin' Blend, or I have a Copic marker that I grabbed, and you color on the front side, I'll show you here. See how that it's going to erase your stamping or your Sharpie marker. So you want to flip it over and color on the back side. Keep in mind the color is, you want a lighter color, because when it shrinks, it's going to compress and darken up. And if you go too dark, like say you use Old Olive, it would be too dark. But just go ahead and color in your items with your Stampin' Blend on the back side of the shrinky paper. So I'm going to just show you that. You can barely see the bananas colored, but let me show you. I shrunk them. Where did I put them? So then go ahead and I had a 1-inch circle punch that out. I cut my bananas out with my scissors. And then you put them on some foil in your oven at 325 for like 3 minutes. And, oops, I shouldn't have set that in there. And they will shrink down. They're gonna start to curl up. Let them keep going. They will flatten out. And so you see how dark that turned out? Oh, you can't really see if I pick it up. See how dark those compressed down? And the bananas are actually, you know, yellow now. So go ahead and make some of those. And then I have a giant box of sequins that we also are going to use. So we're going to set, let's see, how do we want to do this? I think we're going to build up, we're going to pick out some of the sequins from in here. So let me do that first. I just want some of like the silver, and I don't want really very big ones. Just going to pick out, oh, that might be gold. Just going to pick out a few. I don't need a lot in there. But I got this giant box of sequins from, oh, I can only imagine how long I've had these since the kids were little. They've been dumped on the floor even once during a class. Somebody dumped them, but we salvaged most of them. Put them back in the little container, but it takes a long time to go through these. But I probably have, you know, I've got the snowflake, Stampin' Up! Snowflake sequins, and they had little sequins in it, but I just figured I'd use these up a little bit. I'm gonna put a couple bigger ones in there. I'm gonna call that good. Calling that good. So I put them back in the container, put the lid on the container so we don't knock them over again. And then you're gonna just put your shaker bits, and these are kind of thick, so we need to make sure we either put 2 layers of dimensionals on there, or, oh, that one might not have been done. He's still kind of curled. Or extra thick one, and put that in there. And then we're going to put the dimensionals around the outside. And you're going to want to, oh, let's see, what can I use? You could use dimensionals if you have the tape, the strips, the big puffy strips. I'm going to cut up my these strips. So you're going to want to put them, and these are not the ideal thing to use either. So if you have the, like I said, the strip, you're way better off using the strips. But you're just going to want to put these end to end. Only take off one side of the backing. Put them end to end, and then follow around the contour of your plastic. I think I lost one. Like so. And I'm going to show you why you only want to take off one piece of your plastic, and get close enough to the edge, but not too close, because you don't want to see it through the film. So now if I had those strips that I was telling you about, that I believe I got them in my drawer somewhere, these would go around in no time. You could just go right around it. But you could also use the edges of your dimensionals, you know, where it's not cut out to be a dimensional and they're just strips. You could use those as well. I might be cutting these a little too fat, but it works. Squeeze, put them real close too, so that they're like touching each other, because if you have a real fine sequin or some type of like little tiny beads, they will could come out the where they're touching. It's also another good reason to use the big strips. I'm going to cut these a little skinnier because I think I'm getting too close to a couple of them are too wide. I'm getting too close to the edge. And then when we're done here, we will go ahead and like powder it. That's why we don't take the backing off yet. So we're going to put this in there. I've got to cut this one off. I got new Teflon scissors so that my adhesive doesn't stick to them. I'm going to peel this one off. I think it's on there. It's too thick. I'm going to use this thinner one that I have left that you can't really see so much. And then try and stick my backer back on there. So what we're going to do now, put my little backing piece back on, because you want to take, if you've got a cool powder tool, or take your emboss buddy, and then you want to, I don't want to say beat it, but you want to beat some of the powder into the circular where all your tape is at, in on the rim. So if you had a powder tool with like a little brush on the end, you could be brushing it in there, but you want to make sure, feel around it and make sure that there's no sticky. Otherwise that's going to cause your sequins and stuff to get in there and stick. It doesn't, I don't feel anything. I'm not saying that it's gonna work, but we're hoping it does. So we got that powdered up. We're gonna peel off our backings now. Like so. Then we're going to dump our shaker bits in there and our sequins and stars. I put a couple stars in there. And again, I'm not exactly sure if this is going to be too thick of shaker dudes, or if I need another row of, I only got one row on my sample, so I'm going to go with one row. So then now you want to kind of look over and make sure that you're lining up evenly, and then press it down. You kind of only get one chance for this step. If it sticks out and around, then you'll have to take your scissors and kind of go around and trim what pieces. And I didn't get my film down there straight, must be, because that's what I was cutting off. So there you go. You can put as much, see, I think that was the one that was curled a little bit. You can put as much as of the elements in there that you want. This guy, I didn't put as much as I did in my sample, so it probably could use some more. And it could have probably used another layer of dimensionals. But it's that little curvy banana. So like I said, the shrinky dinks are still a little bit thick, and I think they turn out cute, though. It looks really cute on there. So we're going to take our monkey, and I just put the circle in his hands like this, like he's kind of holding on to the world I'm calling it a world. It's not the world, but it's a big old circle like he could be. It's resting the weight of the world on his shoulders. So we're going to take this monkey with our wobblers, action wobblers, mini action springs that I have. And I'm going to put one on the back of the monkey. And I'm not exactly sure what is the top and what is the bottom, but I'm going with the bigger piece as being the base. And I'm going to stick him right about here. So now he wobbles. And then I put this kind of in his hands like that, I said. And I'm going to put just a smidge of adhesive on the back of his hand and on the front of this one. And I'm going to put another wobbler on the back of the world, or the shaker part. Like so. And then I'm going to kind of put it in his hand, and I'm going to stick his hands down to where I want it to be. I'm going to kind of let him rest, so I'm not pulling on his wobbler there. And then I'm going to let that one stick down. So now he's wobbling, they're shaking around in there. And see here, I could also have the stickum, my, what you call that? The powder that I put in there might not be on there all the way or up around there. And so they're stuck. But that's the beauty of the shaker cards. You know, it's kind of trial and error, do a little bit here. I could stick my scissors in there between the two things and push them loose and hope that they don't come back and stick again. And there we go. So then I've got that part done. We're almost done, guys. And then I just came in with an old stamp set, just kidding. And then I used they say the hardest challenges in life make us stronger. And I did that in Rich Razzleberry. I'm going to put that on top of my soft succulent base. And the base here is 1 inch by 3 1/2. Oh, by 3. So it's 1 by 3. And then this is 2 3/4 by 3/4. And then I'm going to go ahead and just pop that up on the front with a couple of these pieces of this strip that I got left over here. Pop that up on the front. Then I have a piece for the inside that measures 3 1/2 by 8 1/4, I believe. And I use the other sentiment in here that says, if I can find it, Where is it? Oh, right here. And for the inside, I used What a Stupid System. So my resident creative director, Mike, says, what would you want that card for? What would you use that card for? And I just said, you could send it to some friend who's just having a rough time. Because some days life is just a stupid system and you just have to deal with it. And then we're going to put that inside. That. And we're all done. Our monkey's holding on, dealing with life, wobbling around, shaking it all up. And that is it for the Safari Celebration Paper Pumpkin Kit for February, guys. I'll be back again when I get the March kit going. Thanks a lot. Talk to you later.